Determine the left end and right end behavior of f of x equals the square root of x. F of x equals the square root of x is an even root. It's the second root, or square root. It can be rewritten as a fractional exponent of 1/2 power. The denominator is the root. It's an even number. An even root does not necessarily have a domain of all reals. What's inside of the even root has to stay greater than or equal to 0. In this case, that's an x, and it has to stay greater than or equal to 0. The domain, therefore, is all numbers greater than or equal to, therefore square bracket on the 0, and anything greater, there is no upper bound to it, so it'll go to positive infinity. The left end behavior is determined by evaluating the function at the left end of the domain, and the right end behavior is determined by evaluating the function at the right end of the domain. Starting with the left end behavior, the left end of the domain is a finite number that is included, and therefore it can be determined by evaluating the function at that left end. That left end is an x-coordinate of 0. The corresponding y-coordinate will be found by evaluating f of 0. F of 0 will be the square root of 0. The square root of 0 is 0. We have an x-coordinate of 0, and we have a y-coordinate of 0. And since this is a finite value, this ends up being an endpoint. And the left end behavior is an endpoint found at the 0, 0 location, or the origin. The right end behavior is determined by evaluating the function at the right end of the domain, which is a positive infinity. Since it's a positive infinity, this is done by taking the limit as x approaches positive infinity of the function, which is the square root of x. The first thing to do here is to plug in a positive infinity in for each of the x's. The square root of positive infinity is positive infinity, and there's the right end behavior. The left end behavior is an endpoint at the origin, and the right end behavior is positive infinity.